Land is a contentious issue. Add the term agriculture, and the issue intensifies. Agricultural land is an explosive issue, one that divides people, families, nations, and South Africa is no exception. When you don't have enough of it to share, for people to live, work and thrive, everything is compromised, from food security to the way people think about the future. Indeed, land is a serious issue. It affects everybody directly, regardless of how you earn your living. And we don't have to go into the details. Just watch the 7 o'clock news. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. In South Africa, land will be redistributed. Fact. Promises will be made by important people that food security won't be compromised. Fact. Chances are they'll be wrong. Inevitably, for many of those who will receive land, inexperience, lack of expertise, and insufficient means will deepen the frustration and even increase the divide between those who have and those who need, those who contribute to the economy and those who wish to. And that's a fact. If we don't change the way we look at the issue of land, the blame debate will consume us all. It will leave us powerless, jobless, hopeless, and hopelessly divided. Point is, no matter how we look at this, there is simply not enough land to go around. At least, not if we continue to think about agriculture in conventional terms. Commercial farmers will tell you, and rightly so, that their profitability to a large extent depends on scalability. The larger the area under production, the lower the input costs, and vice versa. This obviously is contrary to government's equally understandable objective, namely, to limit the maximum size of farms in order to increase the number of landowners. It is not an ideal situation for anybody, neither for the emerging farmer, who needs the most ideal and cost-effective set of circumstances, nor for the large-scale commercial farmer who cannot afford to downsize. Yes, there are many salient issues that must be addressed in order to ensure our agricultural industry's viability and sustainability. Chances are that the problem has become so challenging that we are becoming desperate to find the ultimate solution, the one plan that works for everybody. But there's no such plan. We have to find a different approach, albeit not the elusive grand plan, but a plan all the same that will enable and empower farmers to get on with it. Simply put, let's become productive in a way that is less political and mutually enabling. Let's depoliticize the term farmer so that people can work without being stereotyped. Let's move away from farms to places of work. Let's get rid of the conservative notion that a farmer necessarily has to be a grain or red meat producer. Let's change the perception that agricultural production is always about food security. It is also about creating jobs. Plus, let's consider how not only food production, but indeed scientific notions about what constitutes good food per se is being redefined internationally. Simply put, let's think about all those potential agricultural activities about which one doesn't have to think of in terms of land per square hectare, but rather land per square meter. Let's do away with farming as a broad generic term, which has become overburdened with political baggage, and reposition it as disparate fields of specialization. Introducing niche farmers, precursor to Lowveld Agrochem's niche farmer enterprise. which will engineer and accelerate the proliferation of qualified niche farmers across our country's borders and beyond. Conceptualized by the et al. Group's Strategy et al. For Lowveld Agrochem Nisboer, the popular Afrikaans television series on VIA, now into its third 16-episode series, introduces South African viewers on a weekly basis to a broad spectrum of niche farming enterprises, ranging from the production of cost-effective sources of protein and nutrition, like rabbits, mushrooms, fish, fruits and vegetables, to delicacies like truffles, cheese, and farmed oysters. The show also showcases niche farming enterprises that are not focused on food production, including different kinds of flowers, pets, and animal feeds. If you consider that every show comprises 3 different niche farming enterprises, times 48 episodes to date, it quickly becomes clear that niche farmers already play an important role in the economy. Remarkably, all of these niche farming enterprises have one thing in common, namely, they need very little land, and with the right knowledge, they can be profitable and prolific. A small patch of land, the right knowledge, and a strong will to succeed. Yes, becoming a niche farmer is a much, much more attainable ideal for most people. But how? The business model of the niche farmers training clinics stands on 2 legs, namely, the niche farmers training clinics and the Niche Farmer Corporate Social Investment CSI program. The training clinics offered by Lowveld Agrochem and its accredited agricultural partners will take the form of powerful short courses, stretching mostly over 2 days. This enterprise will be registered in a holding company, which in turn will represent the interests of its shareholders. Quality over quantity will be a guiding principle throughout. Only viable niche farming industries will be considered as training clinics, all of which will take the form of practical short courses. Broadly speaking, typical short courses will include rabbit farming, aquaponics, and fish farming, vegetable farming, including mushroom production, garlic production, berries, and strawberries. Essentially products where land is not a primary concern. Niche farming short courses will be offered at identified Lowveld Agrochem centres in all provinces of South Africa. These identified training centres will offer tactical cross-branding opportunities for participating brands. The short courses will be based on the practical insight of participating niche farmers. In turn, experienced outcomes-based specialists will assist in modularizing practical knowledge into user-friendly and empowering short courses. Short courses will be structured along the following lines: food security, ancillary niche farming practices, and exotic niche farming practices. Where relevant, short courses will be accredited with or certified by accreditation bodies. The main aim of the niche farmer short courses will be to empower people with practical skills and to get them working in the shortest possible time. Prospective learners will be able to enroll for niche farmer short courses in one of 2 ways, namely self-funded and by obtaining a bursary from an accredited niche farmer CSI partner. Bursary's criteria will be devised by the niche farmers enterprise and its CSI partners. The Niche Farmer Corporate Social Investment CSI program will create a meaningful alternative to CSI for South African companies, either because they invest in CSI initiatives voluntarily or because they do so in complying with BBBEE requirements. The main purpose of the Niche Farmer Corporate Social Investment CSI program will be to offer bursaries to deserving students. In addition, as a secondary consideration, CSI partners could also get involved in offering complementing skills to learners, ranging from basic life skills to basic accounting skills, as informed by the respective CSI partners' own skill sets. Point is, in South Africa, far too many companies are at a loss when it comes to how they should approach CSI, or indeed SED. They find themselves isolated, lonely voices in the desert. As a result, they merely do what they have to do to comply with legislation. More specifically, the Department of Trade and Industry's BBEE scorecard. If you think about it, it's like 10 different bakers in 10 different kitchens with one ingredient each, never collaborating, never working together, never synergizing to bake the cake. What is needed is a big picture, a long-term strategy, a mental model within which growth and prosperity can be incubated. But it is not something that can be achieved by a single entity. Government is grappling with it because they have not found a way to unlock the collective power of South African business. Universities are not getting it right. A tertiary education is a mere pipe dream for a man with limited skills. Corporates aren't really getting it right, not on their own. For such a model to be truly sustainable, it needs a collaborative and communal mindset. And for people and businesses to really collaborate, there needs to be buy-in. The Niche Farmer Corporate Social Investment CSI program introduces an approach that redefines the term welfare to what it was always supposed to mean. Not charity, but upliftment, allowing people and communities to be lifted up and become contributing members of society. For corporates, it will be an investment in every sense of the word. It will be credible because they will know how their money is spent. It will be deliberate because they will help set the agenda. It will be socially in tune because capitalism must continue to expand its social conscience. Contributing CSI partners will have the assurance that their contributions will be invested in bursaries for deserving students for the betterment of themselves and their communities. CSI partners will have a direct say in terms of demographics and the geographical areas they wish to invest in. Say, black, female farmers from KZN. The Niche Farmers Enterprise will take care of the screening of learners, but CSI partners will be part of the selection process of approved learners for bursaries. CSI partners will be entitled to points on the BBEE scorecard across categories, ranging from social economic development, or SED, to skills development and enterprise development. Also, CSI partners will enjoy the benefit of cross-branding on the following platforms: niche farmer training venues, all niche farmer marketing collateral, including the website, and on all platforms where clinics and short courses will be advertised. In addition, where learners' studies are sponsored by CSI partners will get the opportunity to introduce their brand offerings to learners in a structured way in the contact space. Ultimately, the successes of Niche Farmers learners will provide fantastic opportunities for PR coverage. After all, documenting these success stories won't amount to frivolous storytelling for the sake of storytelling, but rather showing what is possible when action transcends mere goodwill. More rhetoric will be the end of our country's deserving people. The time is ripe for action. We can no longer afford to wait for the elusive complete answer to all our problems. We have to implement several attainable solutions. South Africa needs large-scale commercial farmers. Fact. But we also need to remove the barriers to entry. We have to ensure that more people can enter the agricultural spectrum, and then in an attainable, enabling fashion. We live in the era of consolidation. To exist in isolation is to be irrelevant and to have no share of voice. The niche farmer's enterprise, simply put, will be the organizational endorser brand of a house of brands, of which the house brands are CSI participants. It's a brand rendezvous where those companies that take this matter seriously can plug in to make a sustainable difference. To build a continent, one has to start somewhere. And the way to start is by creating islands, mere dots in a barren land. Initially, they will be few and far between. But then, as they slowly but certainly increase in number, the dots will start to connect, creating a consciousness. Yes, 2 dots are better than 1. And the more niche farmers and CSI partners join this revolution, the bigger the picture. These entities will be connected through an intricate network, collectively giving substance to the idea of sustainable, holistic, socio-economic development. And the beauty of it is that every dot counts, whatever the size. Every CSI partner will determine the level of its own involvement. It's time to connect the dots, dot by dot. And while we do this, let's never forget what the niche farmer's enterprise is all about. It's a concept that is far older than .com. In fact, you can connect the dots all the way back to 1909.